There was a time when being skilled was enough. That time is over. The creators winning right now don't just sell expertise, they sell a method, a named system. That's what makes them irreplaceable. Sygnos takes your thinking and turns it into a signature system. Your framework, your modules, your messaging.
Help people get unstuck.
Done in minutes. Downloaded as a workbook, ready to sell. Because people don't buy skill. They buy a signature. Build yours with Sygnos.
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you can make it to this video. And in this particular video, I'll be doing the project breakdown of the video you just watched right now. And I'm pretty sure you guys are really going to enjoy this. So this one is just the project breakdown. And if you're interested in the full tutorial, I'll advise you subscribe to my YouTube membership, because those that are members will have access to the full tutorial. And the full tutorial, I'm actually going to be recreating everything from scratch, so you would get to understand how these things are being made. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you do subscribe. I really want to hit 15K subscribers in like 2 months. If you guys can really help me achieve that, I'll so much appreciate it. And of course, if you do like the video, make sure you do click on the thumbs up button. Really appreciate that. And I would like to also add, I do bi-weekly live streams where I have other motion designers or upcoming motion designers join my live stream, and then you will have the opportunity to ask questions and even get to show you some behind the scenes of some of my project, or even get to show you some neat tricks and tips when it comes to motion design. So make sure you do attend, right? Without taking so much of your time, let's get to it. But one last thing. If you are interested in getting the project files, it will be in the link in the description, so make sure you do get it. So let's get straight into the video. I'm going to start with the first scene, and if you can look through here, this is scene 1, and if you look through this is what I have. Just flashes or rushes of footages. So let's look through that. So these are like the footages that I use, and if I just zoom out a little bit, you can see that I just stacked all these footages in a certain way. And look at, it's almost as if I'm forming like a slant C curve, as you can see. So that's how I get to stack all these footages. Then one other thing is, it's not just normal jump cuts. You can see that I actually have a scale animation on it. And if you check the curves, this is what I use for all of the footages that I did that for. You can see all of them has all the scale, and it's from the beginning to the end. So it keeps scaling down, right? And just gives it more depth, right? Just makes it more interesting, basically. And I think that's actually quite straightforward. I don't think there's anything too difficult to understand in that. That's it for the first scene. All right, so that was scene 1. Let's go straight to scene 2 now. And here we just have like mash cuts to the scene, and then I'm just going to double click this. And I think at this point I would like to show you how I get to create the background. So let's just solo this a little bit and see what we have on the background. So I think basically I have maybe like a black, just a dark background with this color, which is this shape here, and I have this gradient. All of this is easily done using pen tool. So let me take away the effect. It's just simple rounded shape to draw at the edges, and that's how this was done. If I had first question blow, this is what I have, and then if I had the second one, this is what I have basically. And then on top of that is an adjustment layer, which is turbulence display, which is what is animating the entire background subtly. So let me just name this turbulence, this. Let's name that. Yeah, so that's how the background was done. And then let's start moving to the rest of the things that I have here. So this text was not used. That's because I used Text Explorer to separate the two. But activate this now. So I know that this was the text I needed to I needed to type in that time is over. So I did that then, and I exploded it. I now made sure that they're all centrally aligned this way. So let's start with this dot. If I show you this, you can see that this scales in. So if I press U and then zoom in, you can see that I have position and scale, right? So right now it's just scaling in, and then I have the position going up. So, and if I show you the keyframe here, you can see the graph here, match cut style basically. And one other thing that's giving it this echo effect, which practically you can use echo to achieve this, but it might just be a little bit tricky because I added color to mine, and that's why I normally use cartoon mobile. Is what I love to use when it comes to things like this. And this is practically the setting that I used. The fill option. I use the fill option, and I use the start color and end color to be, the green color, and that is what is giving me this effect. If I deactivate this, I don't have that anymore. But if I activate this, it gives me this and makes it look very, very interesting. Then match cut to the rest. So this time I literally separate all the text individually and did simple position animation, and it's practically on a y-axis animation. So if I check this now, you can see the ease that I use. Just up, and then I think I did another animation. I used another keyframe here, but I don't think I end up using it. And one thing that I did was, because all of these are actually tied to this particular one, because when I exploded it, it's split into individual letters but still attached to the original. So this is the original letter here. And on this one, I have a scale animation, right? So remember, all of these are attached to this. So let me just change the color of this to this. So I did scale animation to match cut into this next scene, which is this east. If I press I, you can see that I have this scales in to match that, and then scales out immediately. So if you can see this all match cut style, then introduced over. These are so simple positions, scale animation, really, really basic stuff. So but for this over, I did a little bit more. So I added track amount. So I added some tracking to this. If you want to add tracking, you just go to animate, then add tracking. That's basically how I get to do this. And the tracking is what is giving it, expanding the space between the letters. So that's basically what I did to have this. Then also added deep glow as well, and animated the exposure because I'm about to explode it, right? So this is what is happening right here. And then if I now go to this scene, you can see that all of these are explosion and they're actually pre-composed. So let us go into this. Now you can see that it's the same word that I have, but I actually have a preset, a text preset that I added, because I didn't do this right from scratch. It's a text preset in After Effects for you to be able to do something like this. So let me just show you guys a little bit of how that works. So I'm just going to duplicate this, then hide this, and then hopefully I can get to delete all this and then get back to normal, which is great. Let me deactivate the deep glow as well. So press U. If there's any other keyframe, yeah. So this is the one I'm working with right now. So if you want to add the explosion effect, you can do this two ways. If you know where to look for it, if you know how the naming is, you can just look FX console, explode out, and if I press U, let me see if it has done something. See, exactly. So the text preset is explode out, and this is how it works. So basically, you can see it's add all those details for you. But of course, I still did some tweaking to fit to what I really want to do. I did some tweaking, the positioning, the wiggle, the rotation. Right, I did quite a number of tweaking as well, so it can fit in. So this is how I get to do this. And then of course, let me give you some extra tip here. If you go to your effect and presets, you can click on, let me try and see if I can expand this a little bit. So what's this? I don't know this. Come on, yeah, okay, great. So if I can click on this, let me see if I can just drag this out more, click on this. It's not showing me what I want, so let me undock this. So this text and preset, right? If I can click on this and click on browse presets, now it will ask me to, it will want to open Adobe Bridge. You must have Adobe Bridge. In this case, I'm actually using my 2025 and I'm yet to install Adobe Bridge. So maybe I will quickly do that and then I'll show you. That's for me because I actually have a license. But if you don't know where you got your stuff, you can also download Adobe Bridge as well. So I'm going to go to this and I'm going to click on browse presets, and when that happens, it's going to bring this up, and then you can start exploring different kind of presets. So right now I'm just going to go to text, and then just going to start previewing what kind of preset that I would like to add. So let me go back here. Let me look for, let's say, animate out encoder. I think this should be automatically replaying. You can preview all sort of text preset here, right? And I think the explosion should be in miscellaneous. There's some really interesting text preset you can play with. So yeah, as simple as this is a text preset. So I'm actually looking for the explosion. I think it should be here. Yeah, so this is it, explode out, right? Really interesting stuff, and there are some other ones as well that you can experiment with. Yeah, so this is something I just wanted to to show you guys as bonus. All right, so we're going to keep doing this and put this back here, I guess. And then yeah, this is how I get to achieve my text explosion. And if I activate this and then take this away, you can see how this was done. Of course, I also animated the deep glow as well, and the way it explode. I think the deep glow was just, I didn't really do any form of animation, it was just the same. Quite interesting. I don't know why it's flickering. Hopefully it doesn't flicker in the composition. And basically that's what I did. So I duplicated like 2 more times, and I did different variations, reduce the text in this one, adjust the rotation, then the same with this, just tweak it a little bit. Quite interesting stuff. So this is how I get to achieve the explosion. Right, for some weird reason I'm getting that extra flash. I don't know why, but let me just tweak one thing there. Maybe that will be fixed. All right, okay, anyways, we'll leave that. If I say I need to start tweaking this, it will take me some time, but definitely moving things around and changing some of the settings, maybe that would fix it, definitely. So like I said, fixed it because I just changed one thing. All right, so that's how the explosion was really done. So I just duplicated it a couple of times, then do some overshooting, then also added one more here as well to see how things would go. And that's how that was done. And then the next thing is where we have this wiped on, at least half, okay, so that it will not be showing me resolution. Okay, so now we come to this scene, and here is just really simple stuff. This is the composition. I think all of this text, I didn't use it, so let me just delete this. Did I use this? Anything parent to know? Let me see. Right click, select children. So okay, it's only selected to this, so I'm just adding that to there. Yeah, so we'll move on to the next thing, which is practically this scene here, wiping on. And if I solo this out, you can see what I have here. So first of all, let me even solo this one at the middle. So you can see that it's just simple wiping, no big deal basically. And if I go into the footage itself, you can see this is the footage, this is what I have. And what I did is actually quite simple. I don't think I used this, so let me just hide some of these things that I didn't use. Okay, but this, okay, good. So this footage is formatted to this one, so formatted back to this is what I have. But then aside from that, I have this rectangle thing, which I practically duplicated from the main rectangle, and I just turn it into stroke. And this is the matte, this is the rectangle thing, and I've actually done this quite a lot in my previous video. So basically these are just simple lines, simple stroke, where I added these two effects. So CC let me solo this. So this is what I have, just a simple stroke with 8 pixels. So if I had CC light, this is what I have, just to stylize it in this manner. And I also animated the direction, so the direction keeps going basically. So these are like the settings that I use. I also change the color as well. I also change it to cutout so that to really show the cutout part of things, and then added deep glow to make this shine. That's basically how this was done. So let's go back to this, and then how I get to achieve this is actually quite simple. I added linear wipe. Linear wipe is what is wiping it, and I also added some feather, and then I duplicated it and changed the color of the one under to, let me see, here to, I changed the color to this color, which is fill, and as you can see, it's just revealing this. And in this grid footage, okay, I'm coming, let me see something, let me solo this out. So right now, the reason why this is, showing black is because what I did here is actually I did alpha matte and I also inverted it. So if I remove the inverted, you can see that you can see the absolute color here, right? But because I did inverted, right, so it's going to be showing outside, right? And what I did here is to offset it a little bit. Well, they're on the same, you will not notice anything, but offsetting this a little bit just reveal the green more, right? Because I do alpha inverted here, so that's why it's revealing this like this. And then if I activate the original on top, this is what I have. And I also parent it to this null because I needed to add the additional movement, which is scaling in and then moving this to the side to introduce some of the elements in the next scene. So this is how this scene was made. I really hope you guys get to really understand that. All right, so we stop here, wind this slide to the side, and the only thing I didn't add was this scene on top of it. It's actually part of scene 2, but I just decided to name it scene 3, and this is what I have here. It's just this simple simple slide in animation. And if I have to just solo this, I think all of this was not used, so I'll just delete it. Okay, great. So if I have to solo this, right, this first one, you guys know I get to achieve all of this by now, though I didn't use any of this. So it's basically a plain black rectangle. Let me do this. A plain black rectangle, and then duplicated it. Of course, I didn't duplicate it, so we have the text on top. Then I now duplicated it to be down the stroke, which is practically the same technique that I use to have the whole glow thing around, CC lights and with deep glow. So that's basically how I get to do this. And of course, if I press U here, you can see that I have a position animation, and it was just a simple, small, like short keyframes that I did, like between the frames, and I apply the motion tools elastic to it to give me this overshoot. So if I play this, so what is responsible for that is the elastic that I added to this. So that's basically what I did, and then duplicated the rest, and all of this coming to play. And I wonder why the last one is not as vibrant as it should be. Let me see. I think the opacity is affected. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. So this is how this was done, and then I just overlaid it with what I have here. If I go here, you can notice that at the end of the video, I just move it to the side, and then I should have just put the comp here, but the way I was working, I was trying to experiment with a lot of things, and then this is what I end up basically doing. Okay, so yes, so let's go to the next scene, and then we have this actually, so for these scenes in purple, they're actually quite straightforward scene, text animation. There's nothing that I've not shown you guys before if you guys have been following my project breakdown, but we're still going to take a good look at it so that we can see what we have. So right now you can see that I have this text here, so you can see that all of these are being split up. So if I press U, you can see that this is being split up in a way, so it's just position animation, and you can see that opacity animation was also added. So all of this was done, and then it was done to practically all the text here, and I just offset them to come in, right? Then we move on to the next thing. So all of these were parented to this null. If I press U, you can see that after this, they go up to introduce this text, and you can see this replaceable text. They're split individually, and if I press U, and then let me adjust this some more, maybe zoom in a little bit, you can see the positioning on this. So it's actually quite easy, quite simple to do. There's no big deal in this, just making sure that all of these are parented in a way it really works. If I press U here, so this is what is driving the next animation, right? The positioning. And I think the scale too. Let me press U. Yeah, the scale, the positioning, just adding more nulls to it to have all those different animation happening. So, and of course at the end, you can see that blur was added to it as well to give it a smooth transition. So if I play all of this together, this is what we have. Really interesting, right? So yeah, so we are done with let me just say sim 4, right? And this is what I just showed you. So we're now going to move into the next phase, which is going to be this one. And this is actually quite simple, having all this UI element coming in the logo. So let me quickly show you. Okay, great. So I have a lot of layers here, and I think there's some layers here that you can use. Let me just delete them. So I think this is the logo here. Yeah, this is the logo here. So let me just rename this to logo. So let's focus on this for now. I open this up and then start isolating some of the elements. Yeah, so and what I did here is actually quite simple. Let's focus on the base. So this is the normal logo, right? What I did was simple. I applied linear wipe. So with that linear wipe, this is what we have. This is what I have. This is the one with the glow. Just say glow logo. So and what is giving this movement? So let me see. Okay, it's attached to this null. So this null is what is giving it this movement, this scale movement. So practically, I applied linear wipe to this. Actually did linear wipe on the original first because this is the original logo. So let me just put this logo, and this is what I have. Just simple linear wipe animation. Then I now duplicated it. So the duplicated one is not the one below. And I changed the color of that one to be this green, which is the brown color. And what I did was simple, was just to offset it, allow that one to reveal first, then this follows, and then introduce the text. So that's how I was able to achieve this. So if I play this to now, this is what I have. And of course, if I activate the logo, the glow, yeah, and that's what's going to make it look interesting. And then for the text, so if I solo this now, you can see that I have some things here. If I press U, you can see that I have some keyframes. But basically, I use a preset, I think a flicker preset for this. So let me just duplicate this and then delete all of this so that I can show you which text preset that I use. So I'm going to delete this because let me leave the glow, delete all of this, or let me even uncheck the glow as well. So this is what I'm dealing with. So right now, this is what I have. So if I go to my text, my presets, and I look for flicker, I think this is either one of this. I can't really remember, but let me try it. Flicker in, let me see. I don't think this is it. This is not the one I used. So let me try flicker in. Yeah, so this is the preset that I use. It's called flicker in, and then so if I play this, so that's basically what I use. And of course, you can still adjust the slider. Well, I think I actually use the default, so that's basically how I get to do that. So let's move on from there. Let me just delete the layer. And then one other thing that I did was for each one, I also applied deep glow, so at the beginning it will glow up, and you can see the exposure, it's animated from the beginning, it's glowing up, but then it goes back to normal. So, and I use old keyframes for this. And practically that's what I applied to the rest of the text, and then offset it a little bit. Yeah, that's practically what I did here. Then of course I added this. Let me do transform adjustment layer here, and then added scale and position. So that's what is driving the animation here. So drives the animation here, and this is what is responsible for moving to the side and scaling it accordingly, right? And yeah, that's basically how this was done. Let's move on. Let's see what's in the rest of the composition. So here, this is just simple position animation, and this is the UI of the brand platform. This is the UI, some of the things that they want to introduce. So it's just a matter of we applying some position animation and doing match cut to show the differences. Basically, these are just simple position animation. I don't think nothing, not okay. Maybe one other thing I did was at the point of which switching, I added deep glow to them. So let me see. Okay, I think this is it. So yeah, okay, so yeah, I added deep glow on the shape itself. So because I carve out the shape, I draw out the shape using this, so I just overlay it on it and then parent it. And then yeah, that's practically it. Nothing much in this one, just simple position animation. And then because I'm about to match cut into the next scene, so all of that are attached to this none, and then just goes up. So if you go to the next scene now, so let's move on to the next scene now. And then here we can see we did match cut to this point. So here is just like introduce the text, which I've shown you guys how this is done from the beginning part of this. Just bringing this individual text, then match cut it to this, which is really interesting. And then you can see the individual elements here. Let me see. So yeah, so we just what we basically did here is just cut out some of those individual elements and then introduce those elements from. Let me make sure that this is some final quality, and let me make sure that this is actually full. Let's see. Drag this down. So you can see we just cut out some of those elements. We can do that by using mask, right? Some of those UI elements, and you can see all of these are just simple position animation, right? You can see that all of these are mask them out, and then add simple position animation to them. So that's how all of this was done. And of course, all of this was parented to a node that moves along the entire thing. One other thing is check the gradient here. This is the background gradient. So if you check the background here, the reason why we have that glow thing behind, let me solo this, solo everything. So you can see that this has a really cool stroke, right? And the CC light, the technique that I've shown you guys earlier. So this, only that this time around I didn't animate it. It's really looking good. That's why that is glowing up, right? These are simple position animation match cut to the scenes. Nothing really much to it. And of course, knowing fully well that we are going to do match cut to the next scene. So yeah, so scale everything down basically. And again, the same technique here too as well. So let's go into this and I'll show you how this has been done. So this is just same text idea basically, and then UI element. Only that this time around we have this. Let me solo this. All right, let me press U. We have this moving from here to this point. So now we have a cursor. Where is the cursor? Here's the cursor. So this is a cursor that is moving all around. So basically what we did here is simple. Yeah, if I press U, you can see the position animation. Just drag it and then drop it, right? Drag. So basically what we did is, if I highlight the positioning alone, right? You can see this is what we have. and then also it is also going on like a particular path. So let me see if we can even see a better view from the top. Is that the top view? So where is it? So you look at this now, can you see it's going from behind, popping up, and then going back this. So that's what is giving it that drag, popping out and then dropping it basically. Let me change this to one view and just do this. So that's like the only thing that's different here. And then when it drops, I will make sure that we have that effects of its landing. So let's see at the point where it lands. So we have that glow thing happening, which is practically the deep glow. Scale, just animate the scale with the opacity, and that's what is giving it that flash, which is really interesting. And then we go next to the next phase. Maybe I'll show you a little bit more here, right? So next phase as well is practically the same thing. Text comes in and then we bring in this as well. So I think one interesting thing here is how I was able to achieve this here, this wave thing for audio, right? And that's actually quite simple to do. Let's see, where is it? Okay, great. So if I open this up, you can see all of these are actually rectangle, right? And if I use this and press U, so all of these are just simple scale animation on the y-axis, right? And then basically just animated that, then apply an expression called loop ping pong, right? So let me solo one so that you guys can understand what's going on here. Let me duplicate this, put this where it's supposed to be. Let me use. Okay, so there you go. So this, yeah, so this is just one of it. So this is practically how this was done. Really interesting stuff. And it was just the X. You can say that it's only the Y that is moving. So at this point it's 20. At this point is 90. At this point is back to 20. And then we have now apply the loop out ping pong. So that we enable to stop, to just keep going that way. Then the next thing that was done was to just offset everything so that everything will not look alike basically. So yeah, that is it for this part. And then everything was parented to the main UI component here. You guys know how to do type, right? Type animation is a text preset called typewriter. So when you add typewriter to this, it does that for you. Really interesting. So that is it for this scene 8, and then move on to the next scene, which is practically the same thing that I've done, the text animation and all, but let us go into it, and then you will see it's basically just position animation of the text, right? And I think with opacity too as well. So position with opacity, right? And you can see the graph editor. Let's start with the position first. You can see this is the graph editor here. This is the graph editor for the opacity too as well. Just practically, like everything we've been doing basically, right? And then the next thing here is this entire thing is a footage. It's a footage that we got from the website. Let me see the loaders. You can see that it's actually a video. Right, so we had to just bring that in. None of this was done in 3D or anything like that. This entire thing is a video, right? So, and then we just overlay other things on top of it, mask it to make it look good, basically. Let me do this. So that's it for this scene. I will not be going deeper into this because I think it's actually quite straightforward. And then similar to that is this scene too as well. You know that at the end of the day, I always match cut into the next scene. So similar to this is this as well. So if you check out this edge, which I think is, you guys know how I get to do this already. Let me adjust this so you guys can see this really well. And then take this away and this away. So you can see the edge, which is practically the same technique that I use for that I showed you before, CC light with deep glow. So that is what is giving it that edge, and then animate it in a way that it will come to the side or to show at this point. And then nothing much here. Then the next thing is just to mask cut into the next scene, which is simple animation. And then here too as well, if I double click this, you can see this. Yeah, I think simple position animation as well, just coming from left to right. But one thing I did was to animate this cell to go sideways to bring this in, right? And if I solo this, let me see, let me drag this up a little bit. I like to look this and press U. This is the one thing that we have rotated. Yes, we have all other things overlaid on it, which is the line stroke, but this is it. And the way this was done is actually quite simple. First of all, scale, and then rotation. So the rotation, let me just duplicate this and then drag this up and uncheck all of this. Let me give this another color. So if I press U now, the way just wait is if I uncheck this rotation and check this out, right? So the first thing, so I think some other things are appearing to it. So let me say nomad. So this is the way we actually extracted this from. You can imagine. Yeah, so we had to do a lot of masking here. You can see, which is fine. Let me do masks instead so that all of that will not be distracting us. I just want to show you how the rotation was done, which is actually quite simple. So it's simple scale, but for the rotation, we just set this at this point, then take this here, and then rotate it quite a bit there, and then align the two. Then use the motion tools to do elastic. So if I play this now, that's too much. Here, let me adjust this. So I think I'll go back to the previous keyframe and I'll just reduce this quite a bunch. So let's say minus 38. So let's see what we have. Exactly. So that's exactly how this was done. Really easy, really simple. I can even drag it closer to make it rotate some more. Yeah, so that's basically the idea how that was done. So yeah, and then move on to the next scene now, which is going to be this. And this particular one is just simple footage basically. If I play this now, nothing much to it. So yeah, you can see nothing much to it. The scaling, you can see that at this point I scaled it in, and this is what I did at the beginning too as well, this part. Yeah, and here I didn't apply the scaling effect like I did in the beginning. It's just normal jump cut to show the review, which is really interesting. So nothing much going on here basically. And then move on to the next scene here, which is what I'm going to really show you. All right, so let's open this up. Let's see what's going on here. So if I double click this, open this up. So here I actually use a script by Jake Bartlett. So it's called Roundabout, and that's what I use to rotate this UI element, right? So basically, let me show you an example of that. Let me create a new composition. Maybe I can go into this and copy this for UI and just paste this here. Let me just alt click this, so all the expression will be gone. So this is practically how the UI is, and then I may uncheck this, make sure that this is not like 3D. It's not 3D anymore. Great. So I can select this and then go to effect and choose the roundabout script by Jake. Skip. No, that's not the right thing. This can be very useful for me as well, but I'll bring that in as well. So this is not it. I'm just dragging that in. So yeah, I'm just click on roundabout by Jake. maybe I'll put a link below for you to be able to download this. It's actually available for free. So all you need to do here is just select all of this and then click on roundabout. It doesn't have to be like this exactly, right? You don't have to arrange it, because when you click on the roundabout, it will bring them together. And then with this, I can come here and then start adjusting the radius, start adjusting the arc, right? Start adjusting the influence. How much influence do you want it to have? You can adjust the start angle, which is really this. You can rotate this as well, but I don't need to do that. Why did you rotate? Let me undo this. Okay, great. So what I did in this case was I made it 3D, right? And I press R here, I can basically have more control in terms of tilting it a little bit like this. And on one other thing is you need to make sure it's all of this, right? You need to select this, because now that I'm tilting, they're looking sideways. I can right click, go to transform, and go to auto orient. And you can see orient towards the camera, and then they will always look. So now that this is looking this way, I can try and tilt it in a particular way. So let's say from here like this. So maybe I can just check this, and I'll also check the radius as well. So I can make it a little bit bigger like this. Maybe at first like this, right? Set the radius and set the start angle at this point, and then I can move it forward and then change out this, rotate a little bit more. Let me just press U here so I can see all the keyframes. Then for the radius, I can bring it a little bit closer, right towards the end, right? Then the start angle, I can just animate it quite a bunch, right? Which is making it interesting. So if I select this now, you can see how this is going. It goes right, and I think one thing I can do is to increase the radius here too. And if I play this now, this is practically what I have, right? Of course, I can still keep tweaking this for it to make more sense, but this is what this is the idea of how I get to animate this last scene, right? So if I play this now, yeah, this is practically the idea, right? So that's how this scene was practically done. And if you look into here, you can see, let me uncheck all of this. You can see how all of this come together. I just infused the one at the center and then match cut it and then hard blur towards the end to smooth, to make sure that it blends with the logo animation at the end. So if I play this end part now,
Build yours with.
I don't want the audio. So if I play this now, so yeah, exactly. So I just make sure that it goes in a way it's match cut towards the end, and that's it pretty much. That is it pretty much. I really hope you enjoy this, and see you in the next one. I really hope you do enjoy that. If you do, kindly let me know, and I'll so much appreciate your thoughts and comments about these videos. Let me know if this video was super helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.